Okay, so I get this question a lot, and it's just simply, what the heck do you do to warm up for a workout? And I love that because I think a lot of people are missing this key component to prep for a hard effort, and that's that you wake up in the morning or you work all day and then you go straight into sleeping or working, straight into trying to run hard. And usually that just ends up making you feel like garbage, and at least the first couple reps of your workout, you feel like you're still warming up, and it takes you a while to get into it. So that's a great question to ask, and today I want to break down everything that I do as part of my preparation for hard workout days. Now, you could take bits and pieces of this, and you might not want to use the whole thing. It takes me about 45 minutes to warm up for a workout, and that might not work for your schedule, but I think even just getting an idea of everything that I do, and then maybe you can take bits and pieces of it or shorten it down into like even 10 or 15 minutes or whatever works for you in your schedule. But I'll show you the whole thing just so you know, and then you can adapt it for you. Let's do it. Okay, so first things first, I do a little warm-up jog. So for me, that's like 20 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 miles. In high school, I jogged for a mile to warm up. In college, I did 2 miles. As a pro, I did 3 miles. So find your sweet spot, but I'm gonna do that first. Be right back. All right, we're gonna start easy and slow and warm up to it. So the first one is a walking drill that's a high knee stretch where you pull your knee to your chest, and then you kind of whip your foot back and end up in a quad stretch. So you do each leg front and back, and then you switch. And I use my opposite hand here to balance. So when my right knee is back, my left hand is up to help me balance. But even Olympians lose their balance sometimes. Don't worry about it. This is me losing my balance. All right, next up, we're going to keep these stretches going. There's only a couple of the slower ones. This is for your front side of your body, all throughout that hip flexor, and even through kind of the side of my body. So if you see, I'm kind of arching and reaching towards that front leg. So I'm getting kind of my abdominals, and as well as like my obliques on the side, and as well as my lats. It's a whole front side of the body stretch, and I'm just holding it for a couple seconds. Save your longer stretches for after the workout, just a couple 1 or 2 seconds on each side, and this is really going to get that hip flexor nice and opened up. The next few drills here are skipping, so you're just getting into a nice little skippy jumpy rhythm with your legs, and then this first one is arms are just swinging all the way up over your head. Don't skimp out on that. And back. And then the next one is the arms swinging side to side. So you're really opening up that thoracic spine, the T-spine, by going side to side on this motion. And then the same rhythm with the legs, just like that little light skippy, jumpy, getting that rhythm in your legs. Sideways skipping next. This might remind you of like soccer practice or something growing up. That's what makes me think of. Make sure on this that your arms are swinging all the way up over your head. It's my pet peeve when I see people not swinging their arms all the way and getting that good side stretch on the side of your body. It's kind of like the whole point. But this one's great, and make sure you hit both sides. Now we're really getting into some rhythm, and I'm going to test your coordination. This is A-skips. It's a classic. It's one of the best drills you can do. You're just popping up and down, knee towards the chest, the little skip each time, and make sure your foot is flexed. Your toes are up, pointing up. And then every time you come down, you're popping back up. And it might feel a little bit like sluggish at first as you're warming up, but make sure you put a little energy into it, a little pizzazz, because that's really going to help you feel more poppy and bouncy and strong and just quick off the ground when you start that workout. Here it is in slow motion, so you can see how I'm landing just slightly in front of myself and then popping up again. And then your arms are like runner arms, just like, you would when you're running. So opposite hand as leg, of course. And yeah, these are A-skips. From the A-skip, we go to the B-skip. So the B-skip is just like the A-skip, but you add this little kind of flick or pull of your foot and lower leg at the tail end of the A-skip. So the knee comes up, and you'll see this in slow motion in a second, but that knee comes up, and then you pull that foot back down underneath you, and you'll hear kind of a little scraping along the ground when you do that. If you're kind of doing it right, you hear just like this little every time that you land. So here it is in slow motion. And again, the same arms, same runner arms, and that knee comes up, and then you pull the leg down underneath you in kind of a quick motion. You really want to be sharp with these drills, as sharp and quick and intentional and poppy as you can. And that's really going to help, again, put that pop and zest in your legs for the workout. So put some energy in it.
All right, C-skips is a little bit of a tricky rhythm, but just be patient with yourself. It'll take some time and you will get it. So just try and follow along.
This one is tricky, but it's one of my favorites. So it's basically, if you think about it, it's kind of two A skips on the same leg back to back. So you kind of A skip to the front and then A skip to the side on the same leg, and then you switch sides. So A skip to the front, A skip to the side, A skip to the front, A skip to the side. And again, you still have that same bop, 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 bop rhythm from the A skips and the B skips. I think the only awkward part about this is doing it on the same leg twice. Throws most people off at first, but you can do it. You will figure it out. Just be patient with yourself. Here it is in slow motion. So left, front, left, side. And I'm landing kind of just in front of myself / underneath myself on each one. And then the weird part about this is with your arms. So you kind of have to like double your arms as well. And maybe that's what makes it feel a little bit awkward at first, is you don't know what to do with your arms. But just try and keep this opposite arm, opposite knee as much as you can. And yep, that is C-skips. The next one I call fast leg drill, or at least that's what my dad taught me. It was called in high school when I learned this. So I go down with just one leg. So I'm going down with the left leg only, and then I'm taking like 3 tiny little quick steps in between, and then I'll switch legs on the way back. So here it is in slow motion. I cycle through quickly with that left leg, and I take 1, 2, 3 little steps, and then I cycle through again. I'm bringing the back of that heel up towards the booty, and then my knee comes up in front of me, and it's this like quick cycle. And then I do bop, 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 and then do it again. And here it is on the right side. So I'm doing only the left on one direction, and then only the right on the other direction, and then I put them together and do left and right at the end. So here it is in slow motion again. This is the right side. The heel comes to the booty, and the knee comes up, and then I take 1, 2, 3 steps, and I cycle through again. This is another rhythm one, and again, with any of these, you're just going to have to give yourself some time to figure out the rhythm and the pace. And then here it is where you put it together. Left, step, step, right, step, step, left, step, step, right. And you're doing both sides on one direction. And I know this one maybe looks a little intimidating, but once you get the rhythm of it again, it's so much easier. It makes way more sense when you try and do it. There's probably a few different names for this one as well, but I'm going to call it ankling. So the whole kind of idea here is that your feet aren't coming a ton off the ground. You're just kind of making these teeny tiny circles around your ankles. So your foot is kind of just going up and around the ankle each time, and then you're spending as little time on the ground as possible. So kind of practicing that pop, 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 pop off the ground. It's also a great chance to practice your arm carriage, your arm swing. So my arms aren't going wild, they're really controlled. I'm bringing the elbows forward and thinking about these little tiny jumps, like little jump, 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 jump. And you're really spending as little time on the ground as possible. You're landing in the front of your foot or midfoot, and that is ankling.
Okay, drills are complete. The last thing I do before I start the workout is 4 to 6 strides. If you're not familiar with what a stride is, it's also one step, but also another definition would be 50 to 100 meters of a more up-paced run. It's definitely faster than an easy run, but it's also not a sprint. So you gotta kind of find that sweet spot, and it's really kind of getting your rhythm and focusing on your form and technique that you're going to be doing during your workout. So I'll do 4 to 6 of them, and as I go, they get a little bit quicker. So I'm not trying to like go my fastest right out of the gate. The first one will be kind of building, and then as I'm warming up during each one, they get a little faster. And then by the end, hopefully I'm feeling really ready for the workout. Okay, stride number 1. That's it. That's the warm up. If you're going to change shoes for your workout, I would do that either before or in the middle of your strides. And then that's it. Have a great workout.